Audio test, testing 1, 2, 3. Audio test, testing 1, 2, 3. Good morning, everyone. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer for today, Wednesday, October 26, 2022. We're a little behind schedule, but we'll try to get started in the next 2 minutes. For item number 1, the presenter is Brian Ramirez. Good morning to you, Brian. Are you able to hear me? We're a little behind schedule, but we'll try to get started in the next 2 minutes. For item number 1, the presenter is Brian Ramirez. Good morning to you, Brian. Are you able to hear me? We're a little behind schedule, but we'll try to get started in the next 2 minutes. For item number 1, the presenter is Brian Ramirez. Good morning to you, Brian. Are you able to hear me? We're a little behind schedule, but we'll try to get started in the next 2 minutes.
Hello, Fernando. This is Brian Ramirez. I received the message. It kind of looped. I don't know if there's an issue with the sound in this meeting.
Hi, Brian. This is Fernando. Yes, we heard the loop as well. It went on for about 10,
Fernando,
15
I'm
seconds.
not sure if you could hear me.
Council
Earlier,
audio, if you're
I
able
could
to
hear
hear
you
us,
when
we
you
are
asked if I
getting
could hear you, but we can't hear you now.
a loop back on our end. Brian, are you able to hear me? Good morning, everyone. Again, Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. We are having some audio technical issues here in the board session room. Brian Ramirez, item number 1. Are you able to hear me?
Hello, Fernando. I can hear you, but it sounds like you're very distant.
Yeah, you're distant on our end as well. We did hear some loop back about a minute or two. It was about a 15, 20-second loop back on our end, and it just kept going in 2 or 3 cycles. Were you able to hear the loop back on your end?
Hi, Fernando. Again, I'm trying to do my best to really listen to what's being conveyed, but I'm having difficulties with the sound.
Yeah, we can hear you on our end as well, but it is really very faint, and it sounds like you're speaking through a tunnel. I'm sure you're hearing the same thing on your end from our audio to the virtual attendance.
Fernando, this is Udi. It says we can't hear you, and it says that your mic is muted.
Okay. Yeah, the microphone is muted from my office. We're in the board session room. Are you able to hear us? Or is it still faint?
No, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Dr. Williams is the
Audio test testing 1, 2, 3. Audio test testing 1, 2, 3. Hi, good morning, everyone. Again, Fernando Campos for today, Wednesday, October 26th. It is 10:17. We are behind schedule. We are having some audio issues in the boardroom. Video cam is working, but audio is not working. Just want to confirm, Uri or Brian, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, we all moved into our own offices. We are here at City Hall, but we just had to move into our offices to get the board meeting started. So real quick, item number 1 will be presented by Brian Ramirez. Item number 2, Patrick Schmidt. Item number 3, Martina Ruiz. Item number 4, Uri Jimenez. And item number 5, Brian Ramirez. Bureau representatives that are on the line, thank you all for joining us. Clinton, Angela, Kenneth, Greg, thank you all for joining us this morning. Should the board have any questions for your bureau, we will open up those audio lines for you at that time. At this time, we'll go ahead and start identifying any members of the general public that would like to provide general public comment or commentary on any of the items for today's agenda. If you can please raise your hand at this time by pressing *9, or if you're joining us through the Zoom application, there is a raise hand icon located towards the lower right-hand side of your screen. You can go ahead and click that icon at this time. Again, this is for members of the general public that would like to provide general public comment or commentary on any of the items for today's agenda. If you can please raise your hand by pressing *9 or click the raise hand icon at this time. Seeing no hands raised. Oh, one person just raised their hand. Hi, Cassie Hughes or Casey Hughes.
Yeah, hi there. Casey Hughes here. I just wanted to identify myself because I'm the owner of 4127 Seaview Ave, which is one of the items today. I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm here and available for questions if necessary.
And you are the owner for item number 1.
Correct, yes.
Great. Thank you, Casey, for being here. I will make that note and make that announcement to the chair as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Last call for members of the general public that would like to provide general public comment or commentary on any of the items for today's agenda. If you can please raise your hand at this time by pressing *9 or click the raise hand icon if you're joining us through the Zoom application. Seeing no hands raised, I will go ahead and move forward with testing our audio and video for our commissioners. Commissioners, I apologize for the audio not working in our board session room, and thank you very much for being nimble and quick to redeploy in our offices. At this time, I'm going to ask you to just turn on your video cams, and I will go ahead and spotlight you for everyone. Good morning, Commissioner Reyes again.
Good morning. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Thank you.
Loud and clear, thank you. And VP Villegas.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Dr. Davis.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you, sir.
Great. I believe we are just waiting for Commissioner Corzan to log in. VP Villegas, I will be right back. I'm just going to check in on him. VP Villegas Corzan is logged in. I'm just adding him as a panelist. He should be joining us in about 5 seconds. There he is.
Morning.
Good morning.
Okay, VP Villegas, you have all 4 commissioners. President Garcia is out on an approved absence for this morning. I can turn on the video, I'm sorry, the recording on for you. Vice President Villegas, you are now in record mode.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting for the Board of Public Works for today, Wednesday, October 26, 2022. Dr. Campos, can you please establish quorum?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer, establishing roll call and quorum this morning. We have Vice President Villegas, President Pro Tem Davis, and Commissioners Corzan and Reyes. Vice President Villegas, you do have a quorum at this time.
Thank you.
Currently, there is no members of the general public that wish to speak under general public comment. We also have no commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section, and we also have no commentary on any of the items for today's agenda.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, then let's take up our first item of business, and that's the approval of the minutes for the meeting of Wednesday, October 12th. Is there a second to my motion to approve the meeting minutes?
Second.
I'll take both Commissioner Corzan and Pro Tem Mike Davis as seconds, and Dr. Campos, if you want to take a roll call for that.
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and start the voting tabulation. And before I do that, Vice President Villegas, I just wanted to make for the record, I have our counsel in our office. Mr. Ted Jordan is listening in, and he is in my office as well.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and start the voting tabulations to approve the minutes. We'll go ahead and start with you, Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
You're muted.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Corzan
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So then let's start with item number 1, and that's in Council District 1, and that's a tree removal at 4127 West Seaview Avenue. Recommending that the board, number 1, find that this project is categorically exempt under section 15303 class 3, and that there is no substantial evidence the proposed project will have a significant effect on the environment and in its compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act. Number 2, find that none of the exemptions to the use of categorical exemptions as set forth in section 15300.2 of state CEQA guidelines apply. Number 3, to specify that the Bureau of Street Services Urban Forest Division, located at 1149 South Broadway, is custodian to the documents or other material that constitute the record of proceedings upon the board's decision is based. And number 4, review and approve the request for a fee permit to remove 5 native species that include 3 southern black walnut trees and 2 Mexican elderberry shrubs. Tree and shrub replacements are required. And for this item, we have Mr. Brian Ramirez presenting. Good morning. The floor is yours.
Good morning, Vice President Villegas, Commissioners Davis, Corzan, and Reyes. My name is Brian Ramirez with Streets LA Urban Forestry Division, and I'll be presenting this item. What we have before us today is a request for board approval for a fee permit to remove the 5 species, which include 3 Southern California black walnut and 2 Mexican elderberry, for the construction of a new single-family residence, and tree replacements again are required. Mr. Casey Hughes and Betsy Calvin, the property owners, are proposing to build a new 3,380 square foot single family dwelling with a 601 square foot attached garage and attached 1,055 square foot accessory dwelling unit on a 15,020 square foot vacant lot within the Mount Washington Glassell Park specific plan. There are 39 protected trees and shrubs on the property, of which 5 will require removal to enable the grading for the driveway and the home construction. Mr. Hughes acquired the services of a registered consulting arborist to address the project's impacts to all the protected trees and shrubs. Ms. Lancaster, which was the registered consulting arborist, prepared a protected tree report in response to this request and submitted it for Streets LA review. A Streets LA arborist inspected the subject location on April 29th, 2022. The inspection confirmed that there are 39 protected trees and shrubs on this property. 5 native protected trees and shrubs were identified for removal, including the 3 Southern California black walnut and 2 Mexican elderberry. 1 Southern California black walnut and 1 Mexican elderberry are growing adjacent to the proposed home entry, driveway, and footprint of the home, and will be severely impacted by the required grading and construction. 2 Southern California black walnut and 1 Mexican elderberry are directly within the footprint of this proposed residence. The Streets LA arborist agreed that the PTR submitted, the protected tree report submitted, contained the 3 Southern California black walnut and 2 Mexican elderberry shrubs, and confirmed that they will require removal for grading and the construction of these this new residence. It is noteworthy to mention that per Streets LA arborist observations, the size and the footprint of this proposed development is consistent with and in likeness to size of already existing residential dwellings on adjacent parcels within this community, and there is sufficient space to accommodate the required tree and shrub replacements. Just for public record, again, I want to point out and address the section 46.02 of the municipal code, stating that the board may grant a permit for the removal or relocation of a protected tree if it is necessary to remove the protected tree because its continued existence at the location prevents reasonable development. Therefore, to allow reasonable development to the property, Streets LA recommends that the board approve the request for a fee tree removal permit. I want to address also the alternatives. Streets LA endeavors to preserve protected trees or trees in general, and we only consider tree removal after all feasible alternatives for preservation have been exhausted. Of the 39 protected trees and shrubs on site, 5 are located directly adjacent to the footprint of the proposed single-family residence and will require removal to enable home construction. The location, the size, and the condition of these trees and shrubs negate the possibility for tree preservation or relocation. As a condition, if approved, the applicant shall plant 12 15-gallon or largest available container size Southern California black walnut trees and 8 15-gallon or largest available container size Mexican elderberry shrubs on site to replace the removed trees and shrubs. The survival of the trees and shrub replacements shall be guaranteed for a period of 3 years by bond. And if the board approves the protected tree and shrub removal, this tree removal permit shall be issued by Streets LA upon notification by the Bureau of Engineering that the bond has been posted. Upon issuance of the protected species removal permit, Streets LA will be notified a minimum of 10 days prior to the day the protected tree removal shall occur. The applicant's tree expert shall be on site the day that the tree removals occur, and the applicant and their tree expert will arrange an on-site meeting with Streets LA arborist the day following the protected tree removal. The applicant, in conjunction with the project's landscape architect or tree expert, shall be responsible to ensure the tree and shrub permit replacement conditions are in compliance. Replacement tree and shrub planting shall follow the landscape plan within the transmittals to the fullest extent possible. Streets LA shall be notified no later than 5 days after the completion of the replacements, and subsequently a Streets LA arborist will make arrangements to visit the site and approve the tree replacement as being in compliance with all of the permit conditions. Another condition is that Streets LA shall be notified immediately if any permit conditions have been violated or cannot be fulfilled, and failure to comply with this requirement may result in fines or legal actions. As it pertains to the California Environmental Quality Act, this project is categorically exempt under Section 15303, Class 3, and there is no substantial evidence that this project will have significant effect on the environment and is in compliance with CEQA. Also, there are no exceptions to the use of a categorical exemption as set forth in sections 15300.2 of the state CEQA guidelines. As it pertains to the notifications surrounding these tree removals, the first council district office, the Community Forest Advisory Committee, and Department of Neighborhood Empowerment were informed of the tree removal permit request on June 9th, 2022. And the council offices were to notify Streets LA of any objections, which we did not receive. So this concludes my presentation, and I make myself readily available to answer any question that the board may have at this time.
Thank you. Thank you for your report. Commissioners, do we have any questions? We also have I think the developer or the property owner. Commissioner Davis?
Yeah, I just wanted some clarification, Brian, in terms of the client here. Is it a private residence? It's a private residence, correct? Didn't you say it was a home that was consistent with other homes in the area, right?
Correct. It is a residential dwelling unit.
Okay. What area of the city is it? Is it Mount Washington, you said?
That is correct. Within the Mount Washington Glassell Park specific plan area.
Okay, wonderful. And so these are obviously larger homes in that area, correct?
The development that's taking place here is, again, I wanted to point out it's consistent with what's there.
Sure.
The lots are, in my personal opinion, of a smaller size than like these large developments.
They're not larger. They're not larger lots.
They are. This particular one was 15,000 square feet, and
I see. I see. Okay, thank you.
The lots looks like it's 15,000 square feet, but the actual footprint of the home is about 3,000 square feet. Is that correct? It's a hillside also.
That is correct, on a hillside.
Oh, it's a hillside property.
It's a hillside, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I don't see any other hands raised. So we will be removing before us, we'll be removing, the request is to remove about 8 trees and a replacement of 12 California black walnuts and 8 Mexican elderberry trees on site, correct?
To clarify, it was a total of 5 trees.
Oh, excuse me. A total of 5, that is correct. I don't know why I wrote 8. All right. The replacement is 12 and 8, is that correct?
That is correct, and that is consistent with the 4-to-1 replacement in kind and I'll clarify, it was 3 trees and 2 shrubs.
Okay, thank you. And we're removing 5 and a total of how many trees are on the property?
There were a total of 39 protected trees and shrubs, 5 of which are being removed for this development. So there will be plenty of native trees and shrubs to remain throughout construction.
Yeah, and we'll be adding an additional, looks like 20 trees. Okay.
Correct.
And thank you for the property owner for being here as well. Do we have any other questions, commissioners?
We don't have any opposition, obviously, from the council office. They're in concert with the department's recommendation, correct, Brian?
Yes, again, I wanted to point out that this has already gone through the project permit compliance review for this specific plan. It's already obtained its determination letter. So it's had its hearings through that process as well.
Great.
All right, do we have a motion to move this item?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Reyes and a second by Pro Tem Mike Davis. Dr. Campos, can you take a roll call?
Absolutely. We'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, Vice President Villegas,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Corzine,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Vice President Villegas, would you like to consider this item to go forward forthwith?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you, everyone. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you. All right, now let's move on to item number 2 on our agenda, and that's in Council District 11, and that's a contract award, and it's for Keller North America, Asilomar Boulevard Stabilization Project rebid. Recommending the board to, number 1, declare Keller North America for Keller, the first low bidder, to be the lowest responsible bidder, and award Keller a contract for this project for $6,643,788.25. And number 2, authorize the president or 2 members of the board to execute the contract after approval as to form has been obtained by the city attorney. And that's work order E1907673. And before us, we have Mr. Patrick Schmidt.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. As you noted, this board reports for the award of the Asilomar Boulevard Stabilization Project rebid to Keller North America. This project will stabilize a portion of Asilomar Boulevard using a construction method called cement deep soil mixing. Work within the right-of-way will consist of removing existing asphalt pavement, as well as the southern curb and gutter, and constructing 346 subsurface cement deep soil mixed columns. The columns will be created utilizing a special drill rig that will mix the existing subsurface material with cement. Each column will be approximately 4.5 feet in diameter and will extend to a depth of approximately 90 feet below the street surface. The columns will be constructed beneath the south side of Asilomar Boulevard between Almer Avenue and Wynola Street. Then after the installation of the columns, we're going to repave approximately 30,000 square feet of the roadway with 6 inches of asphalt concrete over 12 inches of aggregate base, and we'll replace approximately 806 linear feet of new curb and gutter along the south side. And the pavement construction will include the full width of Asilomar Boulevard from Elmore Avenue to Arbormar Avenue. The contract duration of this project is 270 calendar days. This project has been reviewed for environmental considerations. On March 24th, 2021, the board adopted a report approving the project and certifying the project's EIR. And then on June 9th of 2021, the City Council also adopted the report, which found that the final EIR for the project was completed in compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act. A permit with the California Coastal Commission has been filed and is currently under review. We currently expect to receive the coastal development permit in November. On July 27th, 2022, the city received 3 bids for the project. The Keller, with a bid amount of $6,643,788.25, which was 21.9% below the city engineer's estimate, of $8,506,919. That was low bidder for the project. Keller actually has experience out at this site. They did do a pilot study using the same technology, so we're very confident that they are well positioned to complete this project, having experience right adjacent to the project site by successfully completing the pilot study. The project was advertised with anticipated business inclusion program participation levels of 4% MBE and 2% WBE, 25% SBE, 8% EBE, and 3% DVBE, and had mandatory BIP documentation requirements. Keller pledged participation levels of 13.3% MBE, 0% WBE, 6.36% SBE, 6.36% EBE, 6.1% DVBE, and 9.24% OBE, and complied with the BIP outreach requirements for the project. The mandatory subcontracting minimum requirement for this project is 25%, and Keller has complied by pledging a subcontractor participation level of 35.72%. In conclusion of this board report, the staff recommend that the Board of Public Works declare Keller first low bidder to be the lowest responsible bidder and award Keller the contract for this project. The funding for the project comes from the SB1 Road Maintenance and Rehabilitation Fund, Street Damage Restoration Fund, and the General Fund in the amounts of $5,279,827, $931,604, and $1,761,114.90, which includes a contingency of $1,328,757.65 for a total of $7,972,445.90. That concludes this board report, and I'm available for any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your report. Commissioners, do we have any questions for Mr. Schmidt? Go right ahead, Commissioner Reyes.
Just one question, Patrick. You mentioned that the Coastal Commission still reviewing parts of is that the EIR that was submitted, and do we anticipate any problems or issues that can surface from that can affect the project moving forward?
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. So we do not anticipate any concerns. We have been working with them regarding the specific approval of this project. So they're actually reviewing our project documents, which include our construction plans. They've been involved with this project since, I'm going to say, since about 2019. We've been meeting with them on and off throughout the years. Their policy and their procedures, they don't start their final review of the project until we have the 100% complete plans for the project, which we submitted to them approximately 1 year ago. And we've been interacting with them ever since over the last 12 months. And there is a coastal development permit meeting coming in November, and it's on the agenda for approval at that time. So we're optimistic that it will be approved in November.
Okay, thanks for that info. Want to make sure that there's no hiccups along the way. Thanks.
We're hoping no hiccups.
Thank you. Any other questions? I don't see any other hands raised. Mr. Schmidt, this project is from Asilomar to, I saw in your packet, it looks like it's a block long from Alamar to Wainola. Is that correct?
That's the bulk of the project. The only additional thing we're going to do, the pilot study was constructed between Wainola and Abermar. So we're gonna repave that whole section of street from curb to curb, from all the way from Elmar Avenue to Abermar.
Okay.
Give a nice finished street out there.
Okay, and that's in the Pacific Palisades, I see.
Correct.
All right, and we're investing $6 million for that to stabilize that slope.
To stabilize the right of way for the street.
Okay, and you're using, this cement deep soil mixing, which should stabilize, and we shouldn't have any additional concerns?
Correct.
Okay, is there is there intent to do more of along Asilomar in the future?
This will be the final project. This will be the third project out there. We did do a dewatering project about 5 years ago where we installed some dewatering wells to help alleviate some of the pressure on the landslide. And then we did the pilot study. Then this will be the third and anticipated final project to resolve the situation out there with regards to the street, portion of the street shifting with the landslide.
Okay. All right. It's a really affluent community. I'm just looking at it through Google. Okay. Thank you for that. Commissioners, any other questions? I see none. Do we have a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Mike Davis and a second by Commissioner Reyes. Dr. Campos, can we take a roll call, please?
Absolutely. We'll start with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corzine,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Vice
Thank you,
President,
Mr. Schmidt.
Yep. Thank you, commissioners. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Thank you for that.
Vice President Villegas, would you like to consider item number 2 to go forward forthwith?
Oh, yes, please.
Thank you.
All right. I said goodbye before I did that, sending it forthwith. Okay, so let's move on then to item 3, and that is an item for all council districts, and this is an AFE, Tech Transfer Institute of Transportation Studies at UC Berkeley. Bureau of Street Services and the Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $27,200 to encumber funds for fiscal year 2022-2023 to pay for 4 sessions of traffic control for safer work zones training to accommodate field superintendents, supervisors, and crew leads. And this is an AFE 23-00014M, Fund 100, General Fund, Department number 86, Appropriation Unit 006010. And before us, we have Ms. Martina Ruiz.
Good morning. Good morning, Vice President Villegas, Commissioners. Yes, I'm here to ask for the approval for the authority for expenditure for the training safety course, traffic control for safer work zones in the amount of $27,200. It will be conducted by the University of California, Berkeley Technology Transfer Program, Institute for Transportation Studies. It's a 1-day, 8-hour course. It's designed to keep the workers and public safe during road construction and maintenance and utility work on California's roadways. The training course is compliant with the California Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices and Cal OSHA sections 1598 and 1599 and California Vehicle Code section 21400. It also incorporates the latest state and federal guidelines. Collectively, their team of instructors has over 150 years of work zone related experience. All their instructors are licensed professional engineers who also work for public agencies or as engineering and liability consultants. The course will be held at the General Services Department's training facility, where there is classroom space as well as a large open area to conduct a flagging demonstration. Since the class size maximum is 45 students, we're requesting 4 sessions of the class to accommodate the field superintendents, supervisors, and crew leads, while ensuring the least disruption to operations. During the class, according to their agenda, their general course agenda, there is a section there offered for worker, pedestrian, and bicyclist considerations. And during that section, they will be addressing worker considerations, including personal protective equipment, PPE, and heat illness prevention safety, and positive protection devices. There will be other sections, including traffic control devices and components of temporary traffic control layouts. And following that, the later half of the class, there will be the flagging demonstration using cones and the stop sign or paddle. That concludes the presentation. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Ruiz. Any questions, commissioners? Thank you. Again, that's 4 classes, 45 students per class,
45 per class, yes.
about 180 students.
Correct.
We'll do this for a cost of $27,000, about
Correct.
$27,000. Okay, all right. Thank you. And this will be, do you know if these will be like new hires or just folks that have been on the job for less than 5 years or less than a certain number of time?
There's no time that was identified necessary, but it will address or accommodate all the field superintendents, supervisors, and crew leads first.
Okay. Money well spent to keep our crew safe and up to date, I guess, on the rules.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Commissioner Reyes, please.
Hi, Martina, is there a database to capture, the number of attendees? Do we keep a database of all the training that happens specifically for this particular purpose? And is there like a feedback mechanism for the participants to comment on the curriculum so that there could be improvements later on? What kind of survey or assessment do we do under this program?
We are keeping an attendance sheet. There was a Google link created by my supervisor that was accessible to the email that went out to the 4 divisions that this training was applicable to. They were invited to it. And on the Google spreadsheet, it's applicable to the Construction Services Division, Street Renewal, Street Maintenance, and Urban Forestry, where they can click on the link and go and add the employees that they want to attend the training and include them and add them to the sheet. Up to 45 students per day for 4 sessions. And on there, we are keeping track of the names and matching them to a sign-in sheet on the day of the training. And we'll keep account of the attendees that way. As for the feedback, I know the instructor has offered a feedback at the end of the course. I could inquire and see if we could get copies of that feedback information.
That will be useful just in case you need to expand the training later on, and that you will be provided some feedback from the actual participants who underwent that course. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good question. Any other questions, Commissioner? Oh, I see Pro Tem Mike Davis, right? Go right ahead.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Ms. Ruiz, will participants in the course receive a certificate of completion at the end of the sessions that they are matriculating?
Yes, they will. There is a certificate that will be mailed to them after the course has completed.
Okay, and the certificate will have the name of UC Berkeley on it?
That I could inquire as to if it will or not. I don't know at this time.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll put a motion forward to approve this item. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Dr. Campos, we have a motion by myself and a second by Pro Tem Mike Davis. If we could take a roll call, please.
So we'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Corzan,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Madam Chair, would you like to consider this item to go forward forthwith?
Please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Hopefully, we probably kept you waiting, Uri, for like an hour. Sorry about that. Thank you for your patience. Next, we have item number 4, and that's under oral reports. And we will be hearing from Mr. Uri Jimenez on La Gloria relocation status update done by the Bureau of Engineering. Go right ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Uri Jimenez, Chief Real Estate Officer for the Bureau of Engineering. And this oral report provides a progress update to the Board of Public Works regarding the La Gloria relocation as requested by the Appeals Board at the conclusion of La Gloria's relocation appeal hearing held February 4th, 2022. And these are some of the activities that were completed last month. On September 30th, 2022, the Los Angeles County Health Department provided La Gloria's architect preliminary feedback on the draft architectural drawings presented at the front counter visit. The feedback received will be used to incorporate changes into La Gloria's architectural and engineering plans for submittal to the Health Department and all required agencies. In the submittal package to the Health Department, La Gloria will request that the Health Department continue to allow grandfathered facility conditions. Due to the Health Department requirements, there are many additional costs incurred by La Gloria, which may not be eligible or eligible under reestablishment. Some of these costs would include adding self-closing doors in the production areas, a mop sink, a janitorial closet, ADA upgrades, and more. These requirements were unforeseen as La Gloria's facility was believed to be grandfathered. So just to be clear, the relocation is going to take place to an existing facility that La Gloria already owns. And the upgrades that will be required by the Health Department, some of them would have been required anyway of La Gloria, such as repainting the interior, etc. Other activities and actions that took place last month, there were weekly meetings and on-site visits with vendors and the City of LA at the site, working with the LA County Health Department on obtaining the feedback and report their courtesy inspection, continued environmental engineering, AQMD permitting requirements and process, including stormwater. Project schedule has been updated. La Gloria architectural plans and engineering plans are in progress. UL correction vendor bids have been received. These bids will be used to determine which of the vendors will be retrofitting the existing equipment, which will be relocated to the replacement site. UL correction vendor has been selected and the equipment corrections are in progress. And the relocation schedule, the timeline to relocate La Gloria has been impacted by approximately 6 months due to the Health Department's review and architectural plans and their subsequent comments and requirements. And the activities plans for next month are continued city communications and permitting support, particularly with building and safety, Health Department communications to get the approval from the Health Department. First draft of plan submitted to city, again, to building and safety, and begin communications with LADWP on power service modifications, which will be required to be upgraded because of the new machines that will be relocated to the replacement site. And UL equipment corrections are in progress and will continue, and continued environmental engineering. And that completes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Thank you for the report. Commissioner Davis?
Thank you, Mr. Menace. In our prior report, you had anticipated that somewhere around January, I thought you said that they would be there, but you have reported today that some 6 months delay. from the original anticipated goal has occurred. And so I'm just trying to confirm that the ballpark figure in terms of time you anticipate currently is somewhere around June or something of that nature.
Yes, so August is actually the anticipated date. And it may be less than that, but this is based on what we expect that the health department will require. If the
Okay.
requirements are lower, we would finish sooner.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. All right, so we're still in waiting mode, Mr. Jimenez, just from the health department? at this-
Correct. They've given us initial comments, like courtesy comments. We've been in communication with them regularly. And the actual plans based on the comments that we've been received will be submitted in the coming days.
Okay.
And based on that, we expect a quick review and we should have a final list of requirements in the coming week or two.
Okay. All right, and with that, you'll come back at the next update, and I guess the decisions that were made at that point, let us know if there's how much of either like a cost impact or all that
Yes,
stuff.
so based on whatever the health department requires, we'll make a new assessment as to what is eligible, what is not eligible. And the consultant and contractors will provide an actual cost estimate. So we'll have a firm number.
All right, and I'm assuming that the La Gloria's folks and you and I guess public health are all working together to provide as much information as possible before the county makes their final decision.
Yes, we meet regularly, and the actual last meeting with the health department was in person at their request, and we're
Okay.
happy to comply, and everybody's there at the meetings.
Okay. Yeah, I believe we have to say that, but it does feel nice when you're in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then I know President Garcia would always ask this, so I'm gonna ask it for her. Were La Gloria folks notified of today's meeting?
Yes, I personally sent an email yesterday reminding them of the hour and time of the meeting.
Okay,
And they may join us one of these days, but
okay,
not yet.
okay, no problem.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. All right, thank you, Mr. Jimenez, for your oral report. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're going to move on to our last item on the agenda. And I was wondering why you were back on, Brian. I thought maybe you just like listening to the meeting. But I see you're still on the agenda. Item number 5 is City Trees Updates, Bureau of Street Services. And welcome back, Mr. Brian Ramirez.
Thank you. I'm still on the clock here with you
Yeah.
guys. But so what I have before the board today on this item is the semi-annual oral report for Bureau of Street Services Urban Forestry Division. And this will cover the fiscal year of 21, 22, and also this first quarter of 22 and 23. The summary for fiscal year 2021 and 2022, the Urban Forestry Division trimmed a total of 29,600 trees across all programs, removed 2,700 trees, 3,600 stumps, and planted 2,400 trees, and received a completed and total of 13,200 tree emergencies for, again, the fiscal year of 2021 and 2022. For this first quarter of 2022, 2023, covering July 1st to September 30th, the current emergency requests, we received a total of 3,450 tree emergency and 2,130 obstruction requests for a total of 5,580 total emergency related work that were received and completed. The average emergency response time is 0.8 of 1 day, And I want to point out that is approximately a 19-hour response time, taking into account our crews only work 8 hours out of the day for the response time. And the final cleanup of these emergencies was less than 3 days. This includes the rain, wind events during this fiscal year, and our goal is to always maintain this outstanding service equitably citywide. As it pertains to the tree trimming numbers for this quarter, UFD estimated a goal to trim 50,000 trees this fiscal year across all programs, including the on-demand from the council offices. Urban Forestry trimmed a total of 8,000 trees for this period from July to September, and we target to accomplish the tree trimming goal. As it pertains to the tree and stump removals, UFD is actively engaged in removing dead, dying, diseased trees and stumps throughout the city. UFD set a goal to remove 1,800 trees and stumps this fiscal year, and thus far we have removed 500 trees and 960 stumps. For the landscape medians, on September 2022, the Board of Public Works approved the third-year renewal for the four landscape maintenance contracts for all landscape medians, and the 4 contractors are satisfactorily performing service to approximately 10.5 million square feet of medians once every 2 weeks. For the tree inventory, the city tree inventory started in October of 2019, spearheaded by Davie Resource Group, and as of September 30th, 2022, there have been 703,994 sites collected, with 503,080 live trees collected. The DRG, Davie Resource Group, completed data collection and tree inventory for 77 of the 99 certified neighborhood councils, and 12 of the 70 have received a tree inventory presentation and Westwood Homebee Community Group from the UFD staff. DRG identified 175,200 potential planting sites throughout the city thus far, and UFD continues to receive weekly progress reports from DRG, which provides UFD valued information regarding the inventory of trees in our city. The completed neighborhood council tree inventory reports are available to the public on the Bureau of Street Services website, along with online maps of the inventoried trees. For tree planting, the Urban Forestry Division continues efforts to sustain the tree population by planting new trees. Urban Forestry has planted a total of 128 trees, and the estimated goal is to plant, water, and maintain 2,000 trees equitably across all programs by the end of the fiscal year 2022 to 2023. And I'll move on to the watering. The watering crews are currently watering and maintaining 8,200 of these newly planted trees citywide. For the sidewalk repair program, all work combined, Streets LA UFD crews trimmed and root pruned 96 trees, removed 8 trees, and replanted 6 trees for the sidewalk repair program. The BOE sidewalk rebate program, UFD inspected 130 rebate sites, and for the access request for this sidewalk program, also Urban Forestry inspected 275 locations thus far throughout, again, this quarter of July to September of this year. This is the summary report that our division wanted to present before the board today, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. That was helpful information. Commissioners, do we have any questions for Mr. Ramirez? I have a question. You know, you gave us a lot of statistical information, and I'm just wondering, are some of that information can be found on your website through like the tree inventory piece? Like, where can the public find, like, you know, how many trees have been planted in this fiscal year?
From my understanding, the Streets LA website addresses our endeavors here. Also not just our division's section of it, but the 5-year strategic plan on the Bureau of Street Services website addresses all of our goals. I would have to get back to you on that one, Vice President Villegas, about the updates and how frequently they're updated. But I would definitely reach out to our IT team here to
Yeah,
ensure we're conveying these updates in a timely manner.
no problem, no problem. Okay. All right, thank you. Not meant to do like more work at all. I just wanted to like know if that information is, just available and where or readily accessible.
Well received, and I'll find out.
No problem. Thank you. All right. And I don't see any other questions from the commissioners for this item. Thank you for your report, Mr. Ramirez.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
And Dr. Campos, does that clear our desk?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Thank you. Then, commissioners, we are adjourned for today.